Hey folks, welcome back to Stoic Talks. Have you ever felt that ache in your chest when the person you care about most seems distant? Like no matter how hard you try, they're just slipping further away and you don't know what else to do to pull them back? It's as if you're standing right next to them, but their mind, their heart, is somewhere else. You send that text, and all you get is a half-hearted reply. You plan that special evening, but the spark just isn't there. It hurts, doesn't it? That deep, gnawing feeling of wanting them to notice you again like they used to. What if I told you that the problem isn't that you're not doing enough? It's that you're doing too much. What if, instead of you always making the effort, they started gravitating toward you? What if you became the center of their thoughts, their attention, their desire? Well, folks, today we're diving deep into how you can make your spouse or partner come toward you naturally, without games, without force, just pure, effortless attraction. And if you think this kind of pull only happens in movies, think again, because today I'm going to show you how to make it happen in real life. Let's start with a powerful Stoic quote that hits the core of today's topic. He who controls others may be powerful, but he who has mastered himself is mightier still. In relationships, the goal isn't to manipulate or control the other person. It's about mastering your own energy, your own presence. When you do that, you naturally draw others towards you. This quote is a game changer because it reminds us that the power to attract is not in what we do for others. It's in who we are. I know many of you are in that place right now, feeling like you're doing everything you can to reignite the connection with your partner. You're constantly reaching out, planning things, trying to get them to notice you, and yet it feels like you're the only one making the effort. Let me tell you something, and it might sting a little. The more you push, the more they pull away. The harder you try, the more you show up, the more you overwhelm them with your presence. And in doing so, you become less attractive in their eyes. But here's the twist. You don't need to keep doing all of that. If anything, you need to do less. What if, instead of chasing their attention, you let them chase yours? What if, instead of constantly trying to win them over, you step back and let them realize what they could lose? Imagine this. Instead of sending that good morning text every day, you skip it. Instead of planning the next date night, you leave them guessing about what you're up to. When you give someone space to feel your absence, they start to value your presence more. Let them feel the difference when you're not always there, and watch how they start to turn back toward you. Now, let me hit you with some tough love. Stop begging for their attention. Stop acting like you need to prove your worth to them every day. Don't you see what you're doing to yourself? Every time you overcompensate, every time you give more than they're giving back, you're lowering your value in their eyes. And let me be clear, you are worth more than that. Think about it. When did you stop believing that you deserve to be chased too? When did you start thinking that their love, their attention, is something you have to earn? That's not how this works. The moment you stop putting yourself on that pedestal, they stop seeing you as someone they need to work for. So let me ask you, what are you doing right now? Are you texting them even though they haven't bothered to call? Are you planning the next weekend getaway when they can barely find time to sit and talk with you? Cut it out. It's time to take back control and show them that you are worth the effort. When you believe in your own value, others will start to believe in it too. Let me hit you with something else. You've been giving them too much power. You've been letting them control how you feel, how you see yourself, and how you show up in the relationship. But it's time to stop. If you want them to gravitate towards you, You have to first become the kind of person that doesn't need them to complete you. Focus on your own happiness, your own growth, and your own confidence. When you do that, you become irresistible because they see that you're not dependent on them for validation. People are naturally drawn to those who seem fulfilled, happy, and whole on their own. It's time to become that person. When you stop chasing, when you stop giving all of yourself without expecting anything in return, they'll start to realize what they've been taking for granted. So here's the challenge I'm putting before you today. Stop trying to win their attention. Step back, focus on you, and let them feel your absence. Let them experience what it's like when you're not always there, ready to drop everything for them. And I promise you, they'll start to gravitate back toward you. But this time, you'll be in control. When they do come back, and trust me, they will, don't give it all away at once. Let them earn your time, your attention, your love. You are worth the effort, and it's time they remember that. Number 1, pull the strings without moving. So folks, let's dive into the first powerful strategy. Pull the strings without moving. This concept is all about influencing without force, guiding without pressure, and making people gravitate toward you effortlessly. Now, I know what you might be thinking. How can I control anything if I'm not actively doing something? But let me tell you, sometimes the most powerful moves you can make in life, and especially in relationships, are the ones you don't make. In our fast-paced world, we often think that we need to act constantly, to push for attention, and to speak louder just to be noticed. But here's the thing. True power lies in stillness. When you learn to stay composed and let others come to you, you flip the dynamic entirely. The moment you stop trying so hard is the moment they start wondering about you. Why? Because silence speaks louder than words. By choosing to hold back, you give them space to miss you, to wonder, and to be curious about what's going on in your mind. Now imagine this. You're in a relationship or trying to attract someone's attention. They do something that gets under your skin. Maybe they don't reply to your message as quickly as you'd like, or perhaps they seem distant. Your first instinct is to react. You want to confront them, send a follow-up message, or even pull away completely in frustration. But here's the trick. Don't. Pull the strings by doing nothing. You see, the minute you start reacting emotionally, you hand over your power. You become predictable and, in a way, controllable. Instead, adopt the Stoic mindset of composure and patience. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This means that no matter what happens around you, it's how you choose to respond, or not respond, that gives you the upper hand. When you stay calm, they will start to wonder what's going on in your mind. You become a mystery they want to solve. When you stop reacting, something fascinating happens. You shift the dynamic in your favor without lifting a finger. Suddenly, the person who seemed to be slipping away is curious. They wonder why you're not chasing anymore. In their mind, they start to question, "Did I miss something? Why aren't they reacting the way they usually do?" This subtle shift in dynamics is where the magic happens. You've quietly pulled the strings without any effort, and now they're gravitating toward you, trying to figure out what's changed. It's almost like you've become the calm in the middle of their storm, and people are naturally drawn to that kind of stability. Now, let's lighten things up a bit with some humor. Think of those cool, calm, and collected characters in movies, the ones everyone admires and is drawn to. Have you ever seen that same character run around in a panic, blowing up someone's phone, or throwing emotional tantrums? Nope. They've got that calm, composed energy that makes everyone come to them. So here's a little joke. Be like that character. Don't be the one blowing up someone's phone at 2 a.m. because they didn't respond to your meme. Stay chill, my friends. It's that quiet confidence that makes you magnetic. Incorporating this technique into your life may seem simple, but it does take practice. Start small. The next time you feel the urge to react impulsively, take a breath. Give it a moment. Don't be so quick to respond, especially in situations where emotions are running high. Remember, silence and patience are your best friends here. What's more, this approach doesn't just work in romantic relationships. It applies to friendships, work dynamics, and even family situations. By controlling your emotional reactions and maintaining your cool, you naturally attract people to you. They start to see you as someone stable, someone who doesn't crumble under pressure. And trust me, that's magnetic. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but it's hard to just do nothing. And you're right, it can be challenging, especially if you're used to being someone who likes to address things head on. But this is where the Stoic mindset comes into play. Seneca said, "Sometimes even to live is an act of courage." And in this case, it's the courage to trust the process. It's about having faith that by stepping back, by not reacting immediately, you're allowing things to unfold in your favor. You might feel uncomfortable at first, but that discomfort is a sign that you're growing, that you're stepping into a new kind of power. Let's recap. When you pull the strings without moving, you create a shift in the way others perceive you. You become the steady, calm force that people gravitate toward, simply because you've stopped chasing and started mastering yourself. You're no longer trying to control external situations or people's reactions. Instead, you're controlling your own emotions. And that, my friends, is true power. Now take a moment and say this affirmation with me. I am irresistible. Yes, you are. You don't need to chase. You don't need to force anything, because your calm, confident energy will naturally draw people to you. Drop that affirmation in the comments. I am irresistible. Believe it, embody it, and watch how they start gravitating toward you like never before. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. When you master your reactions, when you pull those invisible strings through stillness and patience, you become the kind of person others can't help but be drawn to. So stand firm in your power, keep your energy grounded, and watch how the world starts to come to you. Give them a taste and walk away. So folks, let's talk about the second strategy. Give them a taste and walk away. Now this is where things get powerful and a little intense, because this step is all about creating desire by showing just enough, but not too much. The goal here is to hook them in and then leave them wanting more. This technique isn't about manipulation. It's about understanding human psychology and how attraction works. The moment you stop overgiving and start pulling back, they will begin to crave your presence like never before. Think about it. Have you ever been in a situation where someone shows you just a hint of attention or affection, but before you can fully indulge in it, they step back? How does it make you feel? A bit frustrated, right? But also more intrigued, more curious about what could come next. That's the power of giving them a taste and then walking away. You create anticipation. You become the person they think about, wonder about, and even obsess over. The beauty of this move is that it taps into their natural desire for what they can't immediately have. Imagine this. You're in a budding relationship, and things are going well. You've been showing them attention, texting regularly, maybe even spending a lot of time together. But here's where most people go wrong. They overdo it. They give too much, too soon. They pour everything into the other person, thinking it will create a stronger bond, but in reality, it has the opposite effect. They become too available, too predictable, and suddenly, the attraction fades. Instead, give them a taste. Show them what it's like to be in your presence, to experience your energy and attention. But don't give it all away. Make sure they get just enough to feel that spark, but not enough to feel satisfied. This leaves them wanting more, and trust me, nothing is more powerful in attraction than desire that hasn't been fully met. Think of it like a delicious meal. You take that first bite, and it's so good that you're already thinking about the next one. But before you can dig in, the plate is taken away. What happens? You want that meal even more. The same concept applies here. When you give them a taste and then step back, they start to wonder when they'll get more of you, and that's where you have the upper hand. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but won't they lose interest if I pull away? Absolutely not. In fact, the opposite happens. When you walk away after giving them just enough, you leave a void. People are wired to fill that void. They'll start thinking about you more because they haven't fully experienced everything you have to offer. The key here is to find balance. You don't want to disappear completely. You just want to step back enough to make them realize they need to step up to get more of you. Let me hit you with a Stoic gem here. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Marcus Aurelius. What this means is simple. The discomfort they feel when you walk away isn't because you've hurt them. It's because they're realizing they want more of what you're offering, but they can't control it. You control the narrative here. You control how much access they have to you. And once you understand that you're the one in power, you might feel tempted to give more of yourself because you want to make sure they stay interested. But here's where you need to trust your own worth. You don't need to overgive to prove your value. You are the prize. When you give just enough and then step back, you make them realize that your time and energy are not something they can take for granted. Think of this like setting a bar. When you show them what you're capable of and then pull back, you're setting the standard. You're showing them that they need to invest in you if they want more. And that's when people start to step up. They'll start texting first. They'll start making plans. They'll start showing up for you because you've shown them that you're not someone who's always available, but someone they need to work for. Here's a little humor for you. Think of yourself like a rare limited edition item. People don't rush to buy something they can get any time, but the moment they think it's exclusive or scarce, they'll line up for miles just to get a piece of it. You are that rare item. You are not something everyone can easily access. So why are you acting like you're available all the time? Now, how do you incorporate this into your life? Start by pulling back in small ways. If you're always the one initiating contact, take a step back and let them come to you. If you've been giving too much time and energy, take a little of that time for yourself. Focus on your own goals, your own passions, and let them feel the shift in your energy. Trust me, they'll notice. And what if you find it difficult? What if you're worried that pulling back might push them away? That's when you need to remind yourself of your worth. You don't need to overgive to keep someone interested. You are already enough. As the affirmation goes, I am irresistible. Say it with me now. I am irresistible. Drop it in the comments. This isn't about games. It's about knowing your value and making sure others see it too. To wrap it up, remember this. When you give them a taste and then walk away, you create desire. You build anticipation. And when you do that, people naturally gravitate toward you. They can't help it because you've shown them what's possible, but left them wanting more. And as Epictetus said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. By giving just enough and pulling back, you make sure they are the ones who want more of you. So stand firm in your power, give them a taste, then walk away and watch as they come running after you. Number 3, become the oasis in their desert. So folks, let's get into the third strategy. Become the oasis in their desert. Now let me tell you something. Life can be hard, chaotic, and draining. When someone's world feels like a desert, dry, empty, and overwhelming, you need to be that oasis. You need to be the refreshing, calming presence that they gravitate toward, the person they turn to when everything around them feels like it's falling apart. But here's the catch. Don't confuse being their oasis with being their doormat. You're not here to fix all their problems. No. You're here to be the one stable, refreshing, and unshakable presence in their life. Think of it this way. Everyone is going through something. They might not always show it, but internally, they're battling stress, doubts, and insecurities. If you can be the calm in their storm, the peaceful refuge they can't get anywhere else, they'll naturally be drawn to you. Imagine this. You're dealing with someone who's stressed out, frustrated, and feeling lost. Their life feels like a barren desert with no relief in sight. Now, most people they encounter either add to their stress or simply ignore it. But you're different. You don't feed into their chaos. Instead, you're the oasis, a breath of fresh air, a source of calm and peace. You don't bring drama, you bring clarity. And that, my friends, is incredibly attractive. They won't be able to stay away from someone who makes them feel like they can finally breathe. Here's the thing. When you become that oasis, they start to crave your presence. They'll seek you out, not because you're constantly available, but because being around you makes them feel better, makes their world feel less overwhelming. You offer something that everyone wants but rarely finds, peace of mind. This is where you win, because people will always gravitate toward what gives them relief, especially when life feels like a desert. Let me hit you with some hard truth. Most people add stress to others' lives. Think about the people around you. How many of them are truly a calming presence? How many of them make you feel at peace versus how many bring more tension and drama? Not many, right? That's why becoming the oasis is so powerful. You're not adding to the noise. You're the quiet place they can rest in. And in a world filled with stress and chaos, that is magnetic. Now, I'm not telling you to be a people pleaser. You're not bending over backward to make everyone happy. This isn't about being available every time they snap their fingers. No, you're not a servant. You're a source of strength. When they come to you, it's because you've cultivated an energy of peace and control, not because you've made yourself a crutch for their problems. What you need to understand is that by becoming their oasis, you're positioning yourself as irreplaceable. You're offering something they can't find just anywhere. When you stop adding to the noise and start being that calming presence, you become the one they turn to when life gets tough. And trust me, they will come running to you when the world feels like too much. How to incorporate this into your life. Start by focusing on your own peace of mind. You can't be an oasis for someone else if you're full of your own chaos. Practice calmness, patience, and composure. When you're around them, don't react to every little thing. Instead, listen, be present, and show them that being with you means stepping into a space where their worries can melt away, even if just for a moment. What if you're not naturally calm? What if you find it hard to keep your cool when things get intense? That's okay. No one expects you to be perfect. But remember what the Stoics say. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. You control how you react, how you respond, and how you show up. It's not about never feeling stress. It's about managing it so well that others feel calmer just by being around you. You're the oasis in their desert, the calming presence they crave, the person they run to when life feels too heavy. And when you embody that energy, trust me, they will gravitate toward you without hesitation. If you're still here with us, it means this video is speaking to you and helping you see your own power. So, why not give it a thumbs up to show your support? And if you're ready for more life-changing content like this, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Number 4, let them chase the shadow. All right, folks, let me hit you with something powerful. People are naturally drawn to what they can't fully have. That's the game, plain and simple. If you're always there, always available, they have no reason to chase you, no reason to crave more of your attention. But when you become a bit elusive, when you let them chase your shadow, you become the person they can't stop thinking about. This isn't about disappearing entirely. It's about leaving just enough mystery that they're constantly trying to figure you out. Think about it. When something is just out of reach, what do? We reach harder, we put in more effort. It's that same principle at play here. If you're always in the spotlight, giving them everything they want and need, they'll start taking you for granted. But when you step back, when you give them space to wonder about you, that's when the chase begins. And let me tell you, being chased is far more powerful than doing the chasing. Imagine this. You're in a situation where you've been putting in all the work, you've been showing up, giving them your attention, making time for them, and what are they doing? Barely lifting a finger. It's frustrating, right? But here's where you flip the script. Let them chase your shadow. Stop being so predictable. Stop being so available. Pull back just enough so they have to work to figure you out. It's like leaving breadcrumbs for them to follow, but never giving them the whole meal. Keep them guessing. Let me drop some wisdom on you. The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have. That's Epictetus, and he's right. When you put all your energy into trying to control how they see you, how they respond to you, you lose control of yourself. But when you focus on mastering yourself, when you pull back, when you let them chase the parts of you they can't fully grasp, you regain your power. You become the one who sets the tone. Now, I know what you're thinking, but won't they lose interest if I pull back? Let me be real with you. No, they won't. In fact, they'll be more intrigued than ever. People crave what they can't fully understand, what they can't completely have. By letting them chase your shadow, you're giving them a reason to stay hooked, a reason to keep coming back for more. And the beauty of it? You don't have to do a thing except be you, calm, collected, confident, and a little bit mysterious. Here's what you need to understand. You don't need to constantly prove your worth to anyone. When you step back and let them chase, you're reminding them that your time is valuable. You are valuable. They need to earn your attention, your energy, your presence. Don't just give it away for free. Make them work for it. Number 5, bait their ego. All right, let's get straight to it. It's time to bait their ego and reel it in. You want someone to gravitate toward you? Then you've got to understand one simple truth. People are driven by their ego. And I don't mean just in an arrogant way. Everyone has that part of them that craves to feel important. to be seen, to be validated. You can either ignore this fact and hope for the best, or you can use it to your advantage and make them chase you. Here's the deal. When you play on someone's ego, you tap into their desire to feel special, to feel like they're winning your attention. And trust me, that's where the magic happens. People want to feel like they're earning something exclusive, and nothing makes them want you more than the subtle feeling that they need to work for your approval. Imagine this. You're talking to someone who thinks they've got you all figured out. Maybe they think you're head over heels for them. They're comfortable, relaxed, and not making any real effort because they believe you'll always be there. Now here's where you flip the script. Instead of overpraising them or giving them too much attention, you drop a subtle challenge. Compliment them, but not too much. Acknowledge their strengths, but also make them realize that they're not the only one who has your attention. You say something like, "You're pretty impressive. I bet you're used to everyone saying that, though." Boom, you've just baited their ego. They feel seen, but now they want to prove themselves even more. Why? Because you've just hinted that they're not the only one who's impressive in your eyes. Suddenly they're wondering, wait, do I need to do more to stand out? And just like that, they're hooked. Here's the hard truth. People don't chase what comes easily. If they feel like they've won you over completely, they stop putting in the effort. But when you create that tiny bit of doubt in their mind, when they think they've almost got you but not quite, that's when they start working harder. Their ego is engaged. They want to feel like they've earned your admiration, and they'll do more to keep your attention. Now let me hit you with some real talk. You are the prize. Stop acting like you need to convince them to like you. You don't need to over-explain yourself or constantly shower them with praise. Instead, let them work for your validation. Make them want to win you over, not the other way around. You're not here to stroke anyone's ego endlessly. You're here to remind them that your attention is valuable, and when you bait their ego just right, they'll be coming to you looking for more approval, more validation, more of your time. It's psychological. People are drawn to the thrill of earning something, so give them a taste, then pull back just enough to make them want to prove themselves. Keep your confidence high, your standards even higher, and watch how they start coming to you eager to reel in your attention. Number 6, hold the mirror to their insecurities. Let me ask you something. Do you know what makes people tick? It's not always what they love or what they're drawn to. It's what they fear. And guess what? Everyone has insecurities. We all have those doubts that we try to hide from the world, hoping no one sees them. But here's the thing. If you can hold up a mirror to their insecurities without judgment, you instantly gain power. You become the person who understands them on a deeper level, the one who sees through the mask. That's when they start gravitating toward you, because you make them feel exposed, yet understood. Here's the trick. You don't need to attack or criticize them. You're not here to make anyone feel worse about themselves, but when you subtly reflect their fears and vulnerabilities back to them, they'll realize that you see them for who they really are, not just the polished version they try to present to the world. And let me tell you something. That's powerful. Because while most people run away from what makes them uncomfortable, you're standing there, calm and confident, seeing right through it. And once they know you've seen through their defenses, they will start leaning into you. Imagine this. You're with someone who always acts overly confident, always trying to show the world they have it all together, but you notice the crack, the little moments of self-doubt, the need for validation, the constant seeking of approval. Instead of feeding into that need, you hold up the mirror. You might say something subtle like, "You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You know, I can see you're already more than enough." That one statement can shake them to their core, because deep down, they've been trying to fill a void they don't even talk about. And now you've exposed it, not in a way that shames them, but in a way that makes them feel seen. This is where the real magic happens. When you reflect someone's insecurities back to them, you break down the walls they've built to protect themselves. They can no longer hide behind their ego because you've already seen through it. And guess what? They will be drawn to you even more because most people never go that deep. You're not like everyone else. They see that now. You're the person who gets them, who sees them, and they can't help but gravitate towards someone who can see their flaws and still stand strong. Now, let me hit you with some motivation. You've got to stop holding back just to make others feel comfortable. Don't dim your light or avoid difficult truths because you're afraid of how they'll react. When you hold that mirror up to someone's insecurities, you're doing them a favor. You're showing them that you're not here to play shallow games. You're here for real connections, real understanding. You're giving them the opportunity to grow, to confront their fears, and to be better. And here's the thing. When they see that you're not afraid of their insecurities, they'll start trusting you on a whole new level. They'll crave that depth, that honesty, that understanding. You've become the person who challenges them to face what they've been running from, and there's nothing more magnetic than that. Number 7, the quiet storm. Let me ask you something. How powerful do you think silence can be? Not the kind of silence that feels awkward or unsure, but the kind of silence that radiates confidence and control. That, my friends, is what I call the quiet storm. This is when your calmness speaks volumes. Your presence commands attention without you needing to say a single word. You become that quiet force they can't ignore, the person who moves with intention while the rest of the world scrambles in noise. Now, some people might think being quiet is passive, but let me tell you something. The real power lies in stillness. Just like a storm building in the distance, there's something magnetic about a person who doesn't feel the need to rush in or be loud to be heard. It's that quiet energy, that calm strength that makes people take notice. You don't need to shout to be remembered. You don't need to be the loudest, to be the most powerful in the room. Your silence can be your loudest weapon. Imagine this. You're in a heated situation. Everyone around you is reacting, emotions are high, and chaos is in the air. What do? You stand still. You don't react. You hold your ground, unshaken. The more you stay calm, the more unsettling it becomes for everyone else. Suddenly, all eyes are on you. People want to know what you're thinking, why you're not reacting like everyone else. That's the quiet storm. Your stillness in the storm makes people gravitate toward you because they see that you're in control, that you're the one who isn't ruled by emotions. And guess what? That's the person they want to follow. When everyone else is running around, you're the one they look to for guidance, for leadership. Now don't get it twisted. This isn't about being emotionless or cold. It's about having the discipline to stay calm in any situation. When you're calm, you can think clearly. You can make decisions that others can't. You become the person they turn to when things get complicated because they know you can handle it without flinching. You want to draw people toward you? Then start mastering the art of silence. Let your presence be enough. Let the storm inside you remain quiet, but feel the power in it. Because when you stay calm, when you stay collected, You're showing the world that you're not afraid to walk through the chaos without losing your composure. That's what makes people want to be near you, to know you, to be part of your world. Stay calm, stay strong, and watch as the world around you bends to your quiet power.